So welcome to the Golden Bear Video Podcast. I'm your host, Clifford Kasson, Deputy Superintendent here at Vestal Central School District. And as you know, Vestal Central School District is a high-performing district within New York State. We don't get there just on a whim. Why we get there is because we have some really high-performing individuals that work at our school district. And today, we have one of them. Our expert in athletics is Mr. Josh Gannon, and he's with us today to talk about his story here and what his role is at a Vestal School District.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Definitely.
I'll get started and kind of tell a little bit about my background. One thing you might see roam by is we have our therapy dog Moose here that's kind of become a little bit famous over at the high school. You might see him wander by, so that's on purpose, and I'll maybe explain his role a little bit towards the end. But so I moved to the Southern Tier area back in 2007. Okay. I met my wife Jody in college, and I'm from the Boston area.
Okay.
Went to high school in Maryland, but went to Springfield College in Massachusetts because it's a great physical education school, athletic school, and that's definitely what I wanted to do. So met my wife there at Springfield, and while I was at Springfield, I fell in love with different parts of athletics. My playing career kind of winded down there. But I knew I wanted to make a career out of working with kids.
Yeah. Did you play athletics and sports?
So I was a typical baseball, basketball person. Focused on basketball as I got older.
Okay.
And played for a little bit in college, and then your ability kind of peaks at that point, and kind of moved on to other things.
That's awesome.
Which was awesome, but it was that love that kind of drove me to wanting to work with kids for the rest of my career. So met my wife there, and as I stopped playing, I got involved in a lot of other kind of leadership activities on campus. And around my junior year, I just kind of knew it clicked. I said, I want to work with high school kids, and I want to be in a public school setting, and I want to be an athletic director.
Yeah, great.
So I just really started working towards that goal as a junior in college. So I stayed on at Springfield, got my master's in administration, and worked in a high school athletic office for a couple of years, and then I got my first athletic director's job in July of 2001.
Okay.
In Massachusetts.
In Massachusetts.
Yep, Stoughton High School in the South Boston area. Black Knights, great school.
Okay, all right.
I was really young, so they gave me an opportunity. I was 24, 25, so I was young for that type of position, but they kind of took a chance on me.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was there for 7 years.
Okay.
Through those 7 years, we started to have our family.
Yes.
And Jody got pregnant with our twins, Jason, JT, and that was our third and fourth, within a 4.5 year span. So we made our decision at that point that we wanted to move to this area because her family's from here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
She was a Montrose Meteor.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Down PA, across the border.
Across the
that's
border.
neat. Yeah.
So we decided we want to really kind of grow roots here and grow our family here. So moved here, had a great opportunity as the athletic director at Union Endicott.
Okay, we won't hold that against you.
Our friends across the river. Our friends across the river.
There you go. Good way to put it.
Great 7 years there. More than 7 years there. And just a lot of great people over at UE. But we always lived in Vestal, so I was a Golden Bear.
Exactly.
With my family, but I worked over at Endicott.
Yeah.
Had great experience there for 12 years, actually. I was at UE. Wow. And then when the position opened here, I had started to really get involved in the community and get involved with community sports. And, as my kids got older, I really decided that this is where I wanted to come and finish my career, to be honest with you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we're really happy that you have come here.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I know, right?
Doesn't feel like that.
And I remember actually going to some different contests and seeing you at UE when Vestal be playing over there or UE's playing here. I remember seeing you and knowing you kind of before you even began here.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
But it's been really a special 3 years for me. I mean, although it's been a weird 3 years with everything going on, but it's been really special as my kids have been older. Jordan, my oldest, is graduating in June, and Jack's a junior, and then I have the twins in 8th. So they've been super involved in school activities since I've been here, and so it's been a real blessing to be here and to be able to kind of impact them, see them a lot more than I did when I was at UE, and It's been a great 3 years.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I know you've done an awful lot coming in because you jumped right in with the capital project going when we resurfaced the turf and the track, and you really helped guide us in that area. And then our gymnasium at the high school, oh my goodness, right? That was, I know you came to us and said, hey, let's do some painting in the ceiling part, and painted all the ductwork green.
Yeah.
And,
what I did when I came over is I wanted to meet with everyone that had been here for a long time. So I met with a group of parents, I met with a group of students, I met with a group of coaches, and just kind of said, what should be on my, to-do list, you know what I mean? And one of the things was, let's get a little bit more, because this is such a great district. For the reputation for this district academically has always been there.
Yes.
And if you really break down from top to bottom our athletic programs, we compete with any district in this area, top to bottom, with success in athletics. So it's like, let's show that a little bit, and let's show some pride, and let's, kind of promote what our kids do on a daily basis was really one of my number one, and still is one of my number one goals.
Fantastic. Yeah. And a lot of that goes with our infrastructure. Like, I go back to the gymnasium at the high school. I was just over there the other day, and it's so beautiful. That floor is gorgeous. Yeah. I remember when the contractors in here laying that out, they said it's so complicated to do. Yeah. They said there's only like a couple other high schools in New York State that have such a nice floor that we have. I mean, it's beautiful. Yeah,
and we really went for it because when they first came in, they kind of were going to map out where the bear head was going to go. Yeah. And I'm like, let's double that. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So it goes 3-point line to 3-point line. And if you stand up on the bleachers or watch the stream on YouTube, it really looks great.
It really just pops. It's awesome. Yeah, definitely. And then the new pad you have underneath the baskets with the Golden Bear, the new logo. Yeah, it's just fantastic, really.
Yeah, and the weight room too. We put a lot of work into the weight room. We're trying to develop that program as much as possible, and we've really invested a lot of funds into making that a state-of-the-art facility, and we're just about there. So it really wouldn't have happened without really the community support, with the Board of Education and yourself and Jeff just being supportive of the vision of, all right, we know what we are academically. Right. Let's take the athletics to the next level as well. And so it's really been a fun 3 years to get that going.
And we always tie the athletics with the academics. Academics is number one priority, like you were saying earlier. But we look at our athletic teams academically, really high scores. Right? You just sent me an email the other day. They list all the winter sports, and our students.
I think we had one team. I think we had all of our teams in the fall. We're well over 90, and we only had one team that just missed it out of all of our fall. So that's our team average for all of the members on the team being 90 or above. And it's crazy when you really look at, how much they put into it athletically, just the time management piece of it. Yeah. And that also goes to our teachers too. Our teachers are really great with that because to have athletes that are putting 2 and 3 hours, into their athletics in season, and with our academic rigor that we have here, to have their support, with the students to help them be successful with that, it wouldn't happen without them.
No, definitely not. Yeah. And that rigor is something that we know Vestal stands on, that high academic rigor, but we expect high achievement from all. So that's great.
But the other thing that I've noticed, which, there is obviously the great rigor, but there's also support systems there at all of our schools, but in particular our high school with our athletes where, if someone needs support, they're going to get the support. Right. And the coaches are aware of that it's obviously academics first, the teachers and the administrators are there as well. So they're going to get their support so that they can, maximize what they do during the season with their academics.
That's true. Yeah. Now, how about youth sports? I know we have, in the community, but also we have intramurals that are elementary buildings, right? So that helps students, become familiar with different sports. And then also that runs right into 6th grade, and then obviously modified sports begin in 7th grade. Could you talk a little bit about that?
So I'm constantly trying to figure out ways to make all of our programs stronger for our kids. And so I meet with our individual coaching staffs at the beginning of the season, at the end of each season, and we just brainstorm what's the next step to make things better. Right. And a lot of it always comes back to, all right, we got to get our kids playing that particular sport at a younger age. We got to expose them to, I just met with the cheerleading staff 2 hours ago. We got to get younger Golden Bears involved in cheerleading at a younger age. They get involved in some tumbling, that type of thing.
Right.
And so how do we do that? And so one of the ways is through our intramurals that the district supports, where we can have, like right now, we have about 23 middle school students who are taking a bus over, I think 3 days a week to the gym here at Central. And they're doing like an hour and a half of cheerleading.
That's great.
So they come right after school. It gives them something to do after school. They get exposed to the sport. Hey, we got cheerleading starting in August, that type of thing. And it's just a good way to really start to build the programs and expose the kids to what we offer at a young age.
Fantastic.
I mean, the community has great youth programs, Little League, and obviously our youth soccer is phenomenal, and football is very strong in terms of the community and the youth levels.
Right.
So it's just a way to build those programs up.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job here, and we really appreciate all your efforts. And, we always look at how can we improve, that continuous improvement for Vestal School District, and this is one avenue that we are continuing that,
I try not to be too annoying with ideas, but, I can take no,
Once in a while. Okay.
what I have
That's
to.
true. So, at this point, like our audience probably wondering what's going on with our inbox here. So we'll save this for a little bit and then we can talk a little further. But so our inbox is typically if someone wants to write us a note, they can do so. And so this one was from our previous guest, Heather Pufke. And she wrote, while being here, she noticed that our technology did not have surge protectors on it. So that's something Dylan and I was like, we took notice. So Dylan went out, made sure we have surge protectors. So now we have that built into our system. So everything is safe. So thank you, Heather, for that note. And if anyone else wants to send something to our inbox, please feel free to do. We'd love to read that on air. So Josh, getting back to our interview here, who is our friend here?
So Jody and I always had chocolate labs when we were younger. So through COVID, we found I really wanted to get another one. Yeah, I know. And I convinced Jody of the idea. So we rescued Moose. He was dumped at a shelter in Utah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, way out west. So I was lucky enough to be able to adopt him. He had a long day he drove from Utah to Las Vegas, slept over there. Got a ride from Las Vegas to LAX airport.
Really?
The next day at 5:30. And then he flew from LAX to Dallas and then Dallas to JFK. And then we picked him up at JFK.
Oh, that's awesome.
But since I've gotten him through COVID and everything, he was really great for me in particular, but our family in general, just, with mental health and just really having something positive to focus on.
Right.
So he obviously has been to a lot of games with me throughout the last year and a half. And so what we've decided to do with him, he just finally passed, because he didn't pass the first time, but he passed 2 days ago, his therapy dog class.
Oh, congratulations.
So he is a certified therapy dog.
Hey.
So I want to really use him and volunteer him starting here at Vestal at our schools with anyone that wants to utilize him.
Right.
School counselors, teachers, and I can bring him just to kind of be around kids.
That's fantastic.
And I'll have him at school and I'll just bring him out in the hallway during passing time. And, there's always 15, 20 kids that need to stop and just pet them.
Totally. Yeah.
Some want to talk, some just kind of pet them and keep walking. It's just kind of like a cool little calming.
It really is. Yeah. Animals mean so much to people. Yeah.
So fantastic. I think he'll hopefully bring something good to the district for the next long time. So
that's so cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing him along today. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. You bribe him with food, he stays quiet.
That's right.
Like my boys.
There you go. All right, well, hey, for being a guest, we want to always give you one of these highly coveted Vestal Golden Bear pens.
I will secure
there you go,
that 100%. So it doesn't get stolen. Yeah, thank you very
use
much.
That with pride.
Yeah, I love it.
And then we always conclude all of our video podcasts with Stay Golden.